Welcome back to the Twitch and Stitch podcast. I'm Marsha, also known as Fairy Little, and this is my podcast about knitting. I went on a major trip with Scylla and my girls this 2 weeks ago for a couple weeks, or 3 weeks ago for a couple weeks. It was awesome. We went on an epic road trip, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I'll also put down below when the knitting content starts. So if you don't want to listen to this, you can skip right on to the knitting. So Scylla and I went on a road trip across Alberta. We had a wedding to go to, and so we decided instead of just taking a weekend that we would take a week and just go and have so much fun. It was, well, over a week. It was 9 days. We drove from where we live in the Okanagan Valley, and we made it to Calgary in one day, and that drive was about 9 hours. I want to say 9 or 10 hours to get there. We were planning on camping on the way, but what happened on the way was the campsites were filled up, and so we kept Googling, trying to find campsites. We didn't book anything in advance, which was poor planning on our part, but couldn't find anything. And then the closer we got to Alberta, the more it started raining. There was no cabins available, there was no hotels available, and so we just kept driving. We rolled into Calgary at midnight, and we found a hotel that was a really good price, and so we stayed in a hotel our first night, and then the next day we went to Drumheller, which is a dinosaur museum and always one of our favorite stops on the way, and went through the dinosaur museum, and then we stayed at a campsite that night, and the next day we drove up to northern Alberta. So that drive was about 5 hours to get to where the wedding was. The wedding was amazing. They're friends of ours, and they'd already actually been married in March, so it was just this was the get-together for the family, and they didn't actually exchange vows. What they did is they did the Celtic hand tying ceremony, and it was really cool. It was so relaxed. It was so much fun. And then we drove to Edmonton and hung out with our friend Amy and stayed at her place and took the girls to West Edmonton Mall. They did a shopping day, and then we did a swimming day at the West Edmonton Mall water park. And then we met up with Tracy and Jody and Jenny. Tracy and Jody from the Grocery Girls podcast, and Jenny from Lone Larch podcast, and we went out for dinner. We met at the yarn shop in Edmonton. There's only one, and that's where Tracy works, and it was just so natural. Like, we just had something in common right to start off with, because normally I feel like this is true for a lot of people going into a situation where you're meeting somebody for the first time, especially like podcasts and stuff. Meeting somebody for the first time, it can be a little bit anxiety inducing, I'd say. And so, but I was never nervous about meeting them. And then Jenny walked in, and well, we first walked in, and there's a lovely girl working at the till, and she said, "I know who you're here to see," which is, it kind of set both Scylla and I just a little bit off, because we weren't expecting to be recognized. So and so the girls weren't there because Amy had said she'd watch the girls while we went out for dinner. So that was awesome. Jenny came in, and I went and gave her a big hug, and it was just like two old friends hanging out. And then Jody and Tracy walked in, and I told Jenny as they walked in, I'm like, "I'm gonna fangirl," and she's like, "Oh, I already did that last time." So I just squealed and went over and gave him a hug, and it was kind of like, it was a lot of fun. We just started talking, all of us, right away. We all got along together, and then we went out for dinner, and it was an amazing dinner. There wasn't any like lapse in conversation. The ladies are awesome, and we met up with quite a few podcasters, and I will get to that. But one thing I want to say is that that for me, like, I feel like I'm a little bit different in real life versus the podcast, because I'm a little bit less relaxed, let's say. I'm less relaxed on the podcast versus how I am normally in real life. I'm pretty, relaxed. and let loose and fancy free kind of. And the grocery girls, Jody and Tracy, they're exactly what you would expect. Exactly. Totally, completely. And Jenny too. She's just so down to earth. Just really, I feel just really grounded around her. Which is funny. But we had an amazing time, and those ladies are fantastic. My words aren't coming to me today. The ladies are fantastic, and we had such a great visit. There was no lull in conversation. And then we started talking about maybe podcasting together. And then we did get together a couple days later in Grandma Nancy's backyard. And it was just, it's like this elfin hideaway where the pixies and fairies live. And it was just beautiful and amazing. And I have some video footage. And we recorded, and a good portion of what I'm about to show you was broadcast in the Grocery Girls podcast. But my camera cut out a little bit later than theirs did, so there's a little bit extra on the end here, and I'll just put it in here.
Grab a pot and put it behind it. No, use the strap of the purse. Oh, there we go. Do you want my wallet or something heavy? That's not what you do. Just a minute. Okay, so now I'm just going to move back and we're going to see. So that's good. I'm just going to press play. Because it widens out, right? So you can see where it's going. My video. This is the front turn. Yeah. Why is it that? Just can't sit back. Yeah, this turn. Oh, yeah, that would be perfect. So my question is, oh, it's yes. Okay, it is. Actually, let me move out of the way so we can see. Okay, I can't see so well. I can just see your arm. Let's see if I can see Camille. No way. Yeah, let's go back closer. There she is. There she is. If you put the camera on the other one, I can sit on the... But then we have the deck. How do we feel about the deck? I feel like it might be... And Marsha is...
And every single second of it. Can you guys see that?
Should we sit around the table? Should we try another chair beside? You mean like something this? Yes. What about this? Because it's long. We're going to be side by side.
Oh my God, we're
super smart. We need production assistance.
We're so smart some days. Right. I'm just going to fix myself up. Yeah, you just hang out. We'll sort this out.
Like, you guys got this.
And I'm like looking around for a bench. We just need a bench.
If only there was
it's right behind you.
Right? That would allow them to be side by side. And is this
go
too high with the pillow?
We have to go that way because the arm is here.
Why?
Because just sit there.
You have your
Center of attention. Yeah, but usually it's just me.
What the heck did I just do? So does this? I mean, it's showing everything. Is it going to show my feet dangling?
You can edit it though. You can zoom in.
It's okay.
Can you?
When you edit, yeah.
I've never zoomed.
Because then you just play with it and you can zoom yourself into like the perfect frame and put on place and stuff. Because I often wear a skirt
in iMovie,
and if I move, and if I move,
zoom in.
I flash my underwear like in every episode.
Who knew that about Marsha? She's so damn professional.
She's an exhibitionist. You could do that really fast chipmunky thing at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes she's not even wearing clothes.
So I do a time lapse on when I'm recording. When I'm setting up, I do a time lapse while I'm setting up, and then I hit video.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so we're recording actually, both of us.
Okay, so I should probably
get your stuff out. Get your shit together.
I have it together. I have my stuff. Do you have things to show? Where are you going to show?
Yeah, I don't have a lot. All I have is this. Now I have a pair of socks, but the other one's at home.
Oh, good. I have one sock too. That's exciting. We'll be one sock wonders. Well, I have socks too. I don't have big things to show, but
I have 20% of a sock. And my shawl.
I've been groping this, by the way, you guys.
Yeah, me too.
And you know where I figured out I saw this before?
Where?
I think they came to the Make It show in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
And it's yes, this is the people I'm sure, Joe, that we were loving.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm sure of it.
The only reason I haven't talked about it on the podcast is because I'm designing a shawl with it. Like I bought it and then I started knitting with it right away in the design, so I can't talk about it because.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm totally making a shawl out of it.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
It is absolutely one of my favorite yarns.
Look at that color. Yeah. And it will be. I mean, when we do our stash splash and stuff like that. But anyway, I wanted to tell you how much I love it. Okay, thank you.
Are we gonna have to yell?
So glad.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm concerned about.
But so in editing in iMovie, you can also turn up the volume.
Yeah. I do. You can tune it up to like 500%.
That's what I do every time.
And I'm worried that I'm going to blow out the ears of people, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
It's better than not loud enough.
I do that more.
I do that every time. It's the first thing I do. Yeah.
Okay, Tracy, you do the introductions. You do the start.
Jody. That's not fair.
Yeah, nope, just happened. I second it.
What is with the younger sisters ganging up on? You do it. No, you do it. Well, what's to say? There's no introduction necessary. How cool is this?
Look who we're with.
This is like knitting nirvana here, having buddies that, you know, your TV knitting buddies actually show up in town, and well, it's just too awesome. So we did dinner. We started with dinner and yarn shopping, and evolved into, of course, we're going to do a podcast. That's just craziness. Don't you think?
Yeah.
How's your trip going? Tell me all about it. How did you come to Edmonton?
We drove.
Good start. Good start.
We got into a vehicle, we loaded it up, and
You have to
Fabulous.
say that is
The
a big
gas.
deal though, because all the way from Penticton
Yeah,
to
with kids.
with kids
Yeah.
to here is a big deal.
It was all, what is it, 15 hours? 15-hour drive?
yeah,
all the way up to the
about
wedding.
that.
Finally
Yeah,
to the wedding.
to the wedding. That was
15 hours.
in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. We drove 10 hours the first day.
Yeah, 10
Yeah,
to
10 the first day to Calgary, and then...
And then we went to Drumheller because that's on the way.
Right.
It's not on the
That's
way.
that's a mandatory stop when you have kids, though.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
is.
so
Very
impressive.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you love it? Have you
Yeah.
guys been there before?
We've been there
Yeah.
lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite places to go. So.
Uh-huh.
But I was just finding the middle of the ball, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Yarn bar.
yarn bar.
The yarn is pretty.
Okay, and Jenny, what about you?
What about me?
You
Yeah.
came because we were all trying to get together.
We were trying to all get together, and it was easiest to meet in Edmonton. And my in-laws live in Edmonton. Well, they live in St. Albert, so for me to come up is no big deal.
Can we just do a
It
shout
is a
out to
big
Grandma
deal.
Nancy?
That's
really
so
not.
nice. Like, it
Yeah,
is such
and
a big deal.
I am a terrible daughter-in-law, and we haven't been up.
I
all
seriously
summer.
doubt it.
I am a terrible
Yes, she
daughter-in-law.
is. I love it.
So it gave me a really
are.
good excuse to just, I'm okay. I own up to it. It's fine.
Hey, we're going to give a shout out to Grandma Nancy.
I was just going to say, look at our location.
Right? This is Grandma Nancy's backyard.
We're not in a public park.
You
Yeah.
would think we were in heaven,
Yeah.
because clearly it's stunning.
Yeah, and the
Where-
heavens did open up.
Right? And
So-
Grandma Nancy has the children.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Grandma Nancy.
I feel like this would be like the ultimate podcasting spot every time you
Yes.
did it.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
I don't know how it's going to look when you look back, but looking it on the screen right now, you guys, it looks gorgeous.
It looks
It
magical.
really
It
does.
looks like we're in some sort of botanical gardens.
It really does.
And let me tell you, it took a lot of work to make it look this way.
But you know what? We're going to do maybe a pan, and we'll do a little insert of a
Yeah.
video because
Yeah,
I really,
we have to.
really want you to get the full feel of how amazing this backyard is.
We absolutely have to. I love it. It's so beautiful here. So we're just knitting away. Everybody's
Yeah.
got working on a sock.
We're all working on socks.
Are we all working on socks?
Starting a new
That's
sock.
awesome.
How many pairs of socks have you knit this week, Marsha?
I just finished a pair last night, and then I cast them on.
Fabulous. This has been on the needles for several months, but that's okay. I love it. It's going to get done.
I love the color.
Gorgeous.
Do you like
I
it?
love it.
Nomadic yarns.
It just
Oh,
it
of course
jumps
it
at
is.
you.
And
Oh,
it's
you knit with her
pattern.
yarn.
It's so pretty.
okay, so that's the
It's-
simple
yeah.
skip sock, which I love. It's just a ribbed sock, but you do a little bit of a passing a slip stitch over in one of the ribs, so it looks pretty. It's very stretchy. It fits great.
That's gorgeous.
Thanks.
Beginner questions with Scylla.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a good one. You should give it a go. It's a good one. Free on Ravelry.
I think actually
I like
before
it.
we go terribly farther, I think we should maybe do actual introductions.
Actual introduction.
Yeah, because people
Well,
don't know
okay.
who everybody is, potentially.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
You do that.
Okay, so I'm going to start on the very far side of me here.
Okay.
Marsha.
Hello.
Marsha.
AKA Fairy Little.
Very little.
You are in my phone as Marsha, just so
That's
you know.
awesome.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Sue, for that one.
And Sister Scylla, who
Yeah.
you guys recognize that she was a podcaster. They were podcasting together for a while, and now she's just crazy busy and just about to go. You're doing your master's.
Finishing my master's, just about to start my PhD.
PhD, so she's got tons of time on her hands.
Totally. Can't imagine why podcasting's not happening. But
So
this is a treat.
It is.
Yes.
So I just play the cameo role now in everybody else's podcast.
and that's really good.
How fun is that?
No pressure.
So much fun.
Yeah, no
You
pressure.
know, I produce one sock every 8 months, and
That's okay.
And then we film it.
right, and then every time I cameo, I show the pair.
Yay!
Love it. Okay, so and Jenny, who is Lone Larch, and she also has a podcast and fabulous bag maker, and so we have just been Okay, you know when you meet people, you're polite and you're kind, and you talk about knitting, and you have that in common. But then when you meet the people, and then you're like, these are my girls.
Totally.
And that's how I felt the minute. And I obviously wouldn't have said this if I didn't feel it, but I felt that when we first met, and we just sat and talked for hours out for dinner.
Yeah.
It was effortless and fun, and so I was so looking forward to coming this morning and being able to chat all together.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like Christmas last night, I couldn't sleep.
I know. I was so excited.
Me either. I was awake so many times.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So yeah, we've decided everyone's sort of going their separate way. Not everybody actually. They can tell you about their adventures coming up, but we thought before they left Edmonton, we would, wanted to get together again and chat together and show everybody what we're working on.
Totally. What a great opportunity, right? Like, when does this happen?
Yeah.
Exactly. We're just gonna follow Jenny home after this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're stopping at Jess's house from Haven Yarn because I have some yarn to pick up.
Oh my god, now I'm super jealous. I want a caravan.
Well, you
right?
can want to come.
Oh my gosh,
I
you
just
guys.
bought bulky yarn from her. Did you guys notice her Instagram post?
No.
And she had a pic. You know that
Her
whimsical.
colors are amazing.
Yeah.
You know that Hugh Loco bag with that girl? I think it was
Yes.
Okay, was that a native Indian?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yep, yep,
so
yep.
Jess posted a bag and then she had some yarn, and in that post she said, "Is anyone interested in this bulky yarn?" And I said, "I am."
Yeah.
So
So you have yarn too to pick up from Jess?
I think she's gonna mail it. But yeah, I'm gonna knit fabric. Anyway, that made me think of that.
You know, we could just pick it up and we'll bring it home, and then you guys can visit us to pick it up.
Yeah.
That's true.
That
Sounds
would be
great.
amazing.
The Okanagan is beautiful in the summer.
Well, you are in a
It's
resort
hot.
town.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lake, water. We have nothing like that.
Yeah.
Guess who they knit night with, people? Isis Yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Michelle from
Michelle.
Isis Fiber Yarns. Wow, that was hard for me to say.
How lucky are you guys?
I'm hoarding her yarn. It's so beautiful. I
Yeah.
still haven't decided what to do with it, but
Oh.
everything I cast on, I think, oh, I should use this.
I love touching it.
I
know.
know.
Like, there's something about touching her yarn. I go to the market in Penticton on Saturdays. Usually Marcia's out of town and I'm supposed to be working on pieces.
Uh-huh.
So you go to the market.
So I go to the
Well
market,
done.
clearly,
Good
right?
job.
So you go yarn shopping.
Yeah, and then I just go to her kiosk, which is beautiful, and I just touch everything.
I can't believe you can get her yarn at the market.
No kidding.
I would go
Yeah.
to the market every weekend.
I have to drive at least an hour even to just go to a yarn shop.
Yeah, that's a long...
Yeah. So to be able to just wander down the street to the market,
Yeah.
magical.
Or we can call her and she does deliveries.
She comes
What?
right to our house
Yeah.
with yarn.
She's total yarn pimp.
Yeah, it totally is.
She's
Yeah.
my dealer. She totally
That's what Jess is for me,
Yeah.
totally. I see something on Instagram and I go, okay, Jess, I need 4 of these right now.
Yeah.
2 days later, and then I pull all of my stitches out of my sock.
Oh, no.
Jenny, I saw that happen. Do you know how
Oh
many
my
times I've done that?
Oh.
Are they
Oh my
cast on
God.
stitches or can you grab them?
I can't anymore because I just pulled them out again.
Okay, I'm not going to talk to you for a minute while you
Oh.
fix that.
Well,
Everybody
this is
give
a lot
me a
to
moment.
coordinate, I have to
Okay,
say.
Marsha,
Yeah.
show us. Do you have your socks that you were knitting on at dinner that I noticed you posted on Instagram?
Oh, yeah. I, they're over.
Finish them?
They're over.
Those are
Okay.
the ones you finished last week?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
talk about
good
what
grief.
you're knitting on right now then.
Okay.
Show us your groovy, that is beautiful.
Okay,
This
everyone,
is,
we're good.
it's opal sock yarn. It's pullover, and I can't read it at all. It's sparkly, and it's not actually like rainbow. It's just like
Kind of Fair
super, yeah.
Go get up there. They're
Thin
going to want to see it
stripes.
close up.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Definitely not going up.
It's so pretty.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And they're totally different. I started them at either end of the ball, so they're going to be completely different.
And I love that.
Yeah. So like these 2 stripes that are at the beginning of this one, that's the stripes I'm at from the opposite angle now, going that way.
Okay.
So
Those are going to look
Oh,
really
yeah.
cute.
so
love
then
that.
the next color here is going to be the green. That's the first cast on color there.
And are you always a cuff down sock knitter?
I am now. I learned toe up,
Yeah.
and that was my jam for a really long time, but I changed in January because
The
I
sockathon.
needed to be the most efficient
Yeah.
possible.
That should have been called Sockageddon or something like that.
Sockageddon.
It's not like the end of the sock world, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I changed how I knit completely
Yeah.
for that, because within the first day I'd punctured holes in my finger, and so I had to
revamp how I was doing it because my fingers wouldn't have lasted.
I can be a super practical person, and it makes so much sense to knit toe up
Yeah.
with yarn management and fit and all
you
that
wanna
stuff.
use
But
all your
I
yarn.
never do. It's not my favorite. I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
I
like
stress
top
too
yarn.
much. If
Yeah.
I started the
What's your
cuff,
cast on though?
10 on each needle.
And then what is that called?
You do the Turkish cast on
what
or
is it
the
called? Judy's Magic cast
Judy's?
on? Yeah.
I've never done
Is it hard?
No. It's really easy. I'll show you. Not like that, because I don't
Yeah,
use
so
the
I
cast
was
on, that's
taught-
never mind.
Cuff down, I guess that's
Yeah.
just what I kept with.
I was taught that too, but I would do the cuff and then get through a portion of the leg and then stress so much that it wasn't going to fit, or I'd have too many stitches, so I'd have to start all over again. And I
Yeah.
did that so many times that I just went, forget it. Starting at the toe, and I'm just going to try it on every step of the way so that I
Right.
know that it's going to fit me perfectly.
So do you still, like I know people say, like I found my recipe.
Yeah.
Do you still try on every sock as you go?
No, because I know my recipe now. But
Okay.
it took like 6 socks.
Yeah, it's
To
not.
get that.
It's not
Yeah.
easy.
Different heels, different, yeah,
Yes.
everything. And I've changed my toe too. I used to just do an increase every other row, but now I do the quick increase first, and then
So what?
Every
How many
other row.
stitches? So you start at 10
I
and
start at 10, I go to 40. Well, okay, hold on. 20 on each needle. So I start at 10 on each needle, go up to 20 on each needle, and then with the fast increase.
right,
And
every
then-
round.
Yeah, and then every other round until 60.
Okay.
Done.
Is this?
And that gives a nice round shape,
Yes.
actually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you fishlets kiss every time?
Yes, because it's so fast. It's so fast, and I have it memorized, so I can just do it wherever I am. Or if I can't remember, it's on my phone, so
Yeah.
I can.
You know, I've never tried fishlets kiss though.
It's a nice
It's so
feel.
fast,
It's a
and it
nice
fits
feel.
my foot really well. I have really high arches.
Okay, so
really
I
narrow,
have really
small
high
feet.
arches, and I've
Me
talked
too.
about that before. I thought
Yeah.
I was worried it wouldn't. Like I was
No,
worried it would be pulling here too much.
It might be. I don't know. I have very small feet, so I can't say that it's going to fit you, but give it a go.
Yeah, it's
Right?
worth a try.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a try. That's so fun.
I did
Okay.
on my other sock set. I'll show you guys in a bit. I did the afterthought heel,
Yeah.
and when I do that, I actually pick up extra stitches on the way around. So it's because you put a piece of yarn in, and then you pick up like for me, it's 32 on one side, 32 on the
Yeah.
other.
Right.
And then so I pick up 34 on each side. And then so my heel actually is wider than the rest of my foot part in the beginning because I have a high arch, so it gives me that extra. And then I knit about an inch just straight around, and then I start doing my decreases. And it just cups it.
It grabs it just right.
Just right, yeah.
I like the heel flapping gusset because you can literally make it as long or short as you need it.
I do.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
it's-
do.
yeah.
It fits so nice.
It fits so nice, although it's the only heel I've ever tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a high instep and you're doing a heel flap and gusset, you just make a longer heel
Yeah.
flap, so you have more stitches to pick up.
for
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. I
It's
think
not quick.
No, it's not. It takes
it's not.
forever.
But I'm not a quick knitter anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't actually take me any longer.
And
Yeah.
I think if you're going to spend that amount of time on knitting a sock, make it fit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you want to wear it all the time.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten my toe recipe. I thought I had it this time, and I put it on.
Your
and
square toe. Show them your square toe.
it is not my toe
You're an
recipe.
innovator, Scylla.
So I'm gonna rip it out and I'm gonna try again, but you can't really see. I thought I was a
No,
square
she
toe.
didn't just cast off.
That's my square toe. It's beautiful and square.
It's square.
It's square.
I have square feet.
Okay, Scylla was saying she likes a squarer toe, but you decided that this was too square.
It's too square.
So how many stitches do you feel like you would have gone down instead of
Just keep decreasing and lengthen it a bit.
I actually think that I would do a double increase. Because I've just been doing an increase, like a decrease. So I've just been doing a decrease on each side for like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. So I would actually probably start with 10 and do a double increase. And then it would still be squarer, but it wouldn't be
so square?
so square, and it would
Yeah.
taper in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just basically on one side. My toe is flat, my feet are pretty much flat across the top, except my baby toe is shorter. And so the first one I did, I decreased specifically for my baby toe, and then it went up. And it looked so funny because it almost looked like a glove.
I had a visceral
Did it fit
reaction
though?
to
It fit perfect.
Okay, so who cares what
But
it
I,
says?
can't, but I can't wear my left sock on my right foot and my right sock on my left foot. They're not interchangeable.
That's okay, no?
Because they are directional.
That is okay. I
That
have
is super
socks.
custom. Talk about
hilarious.
custom
Yeah.
socks.
And so it was perfect for my feet, but I haven't been able to replicate it because that was my first pair of socks. So this is my second pair of socks.
Okay. I smell a pattern coming on, Marsha.
For people with very square feet.
Right? You could make... You could totally write it up. It could be the Scylla pattern.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I've already designed it. I didn't use a pattern to make socks. I didn't know you're
There
supposed
you
to.
go.
You don't have to at all.
I just...
You didn't? You just kind of winged it? That's amazing.
Yeah, I learned how to do the heel flap and gusset from YouTube. And
Yeah, I love it.
YouTube's amazing. That's how I learned so much. It's how
There
so
is a
many
ton of
things.
information on
Yeah.
there now
Yeah.
from when I started knitting for sure.
I taught myself to crochet there first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's a lot easier to learn to crochet than it is to learn
Oh,
to
for
knit.
sure. Yeah, I crocheted first too.
Me too.
Did you?
Do you? Do you crochet?
I can't crochet.
Me
I can
neither, really.
daisy chain, and I really want to make it's like literally just the chain because I used
Yeah.
to finger knit.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But I can't crochet. I really want to learn how to make granny squares. I think
Yeah.
they're so pretty.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. I'm not kidding. It
I
couldn't
have
be
to
easier.
practice more. I
Yeah.
did take
Yeah.
a class, and I just haven't practiced enough. So I have to get back on it.
We should get together one day in the
Totally.
near future and just practice
In the near
crocheting.
future.
Let's
yeah.
do it.
With all of the crochet experts.
We
Yeah.
could do a granny
Yeah.
square-a-thon.
Right?
Well, come this fall, once our 87 knit-alongs finish,
Woo! There's not very much time left. I hope everybody's doing it.
I'm going to host a crochet along. It's going to
Yeah,
be
this is-
very general.
This is my second
Ooh, I
pair
like
of socks
it.
of summer knit along.
Yay!
I completed one single sock to pair up for that.
That's
And that's
awesome.
it.
That's
Yep,
participating.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
participating.
That is a finished object.
That's completely
Yeah.
participating. Okay, I was wondering, should we pause and see how our volume is? Or
Well, we're not going to be able to do anything about
Yeah,
it
we're not
anyway.
gonna be able to change it unless
Right.
we completely move.
okay, no. I'm just
Right.
as long as we're
We're all
we get a
good.
decent amount of yeah. And you're right. As long as we can hear a little bit, we can crank it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenny, tell us about your FO.
My FO. Okay, I'll not start this row then. My FO is a sock. This is obviously one sock, but if you watched my last podcast, I had the other one done.
Oh, so this is your second.
This is my second.
Yeah.
That yarn
Oh.
is so beautiful. I would love that.
This is Sweater Maker Yarn. She lives in Courtney, BC. Yes, of course you can. The only place that you can get Sweater Maker Yarn is if you go to Courtney, BC to Uptown Yarns or go to Uptown Yarns Etsy shop. And she puts up all of the Sweater Maker that she brings in. I think her name is Judy.
What does Sweater
Brings in?
Maker mean? It's just that
It's
what
her-
she's called
just her
that
name.
base.
That's her name. That's like her yarn company.
Got it.
She has all different bases and obviously,
I'm dying.
yeah.
I was just gonna ask if you were sweating as much as I am.
Yeah,
Cooking to death.
Oh,
and your yarn
goodness.
is beautiful.
Okay, so that color is so, it matches my nails,
It does match your nails.
but the color is amazing.
And the fun thing about this yarn was that it, like on the first sock, it started out really, really faded like this one does.
Oh, I
is up
see
here.
that.
And then as I worked up to the cuff, the colors got more vibrant and
I love that.
more intense. And then this sock obviously did the opposite because that's just how the skein.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
So if you look at the skein now, it looks super faded. And
Wow.
just not faded, I shouldn't say faded, muted.
Good
So
word choice.
it was fun to actually
I love it.
watch that play out. Not necessarily the colors, but just watch the different
I would have bought that
tones
color.
come out too.
Yeah.
And also that it's the same thing happening on both socks instead of one sock being
Yeah.
really vibrant and the other sock being
Totally faded.
faded
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And you have enough left for a mini sock, which I
I
love your
do.
mini sock project.
These skeins are actually smaller. They're not. I do.
What is your mini skein project?
Mini socks.
Mini
Tiny
socks.
socks.
And then for who?
Are they
the
Christmas
elves that
tree
live with you?
ornaments?
Yes,
or-
the elves that live with me. No. No, I'm gonna make garlands for
Oh my gosh,
Christmas
I-
cards and stuff like that.
Like how many?
how many? I don't know.
How
I think,
mini?
Oh, how many?
They're
They're
tiny.
like this big. They're so much fun to make. I can make one in about an hour and a half.
So as soon as you do, like now that you're finished these,
Yeah.
will you now make your socks?
My mini socks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make one mini sock out of this, and then I'll probably make the rest into mini skeins
Yeah.
to give
To
away.
share.
Or, yeah. Yeah, so this one is only 370 meters. It's not. Is that a normal size skein?
No.
No, it's small, isn't it?
A touch.
Some are less like that.
Because
but-
normally when I make a pair of socks for myself, I have enough yarn left over to make a pair of socks for Emmy.
So
And
you're,
I definitely
it's
don't
plump.
have enough to make
It
this
is a
socks
plump
for
yarn.
Emmy now.
Okay, and Jenny's gauge,
Her
you
gauge
guys,
is
is quite tight,
Oh,
which
yeah.
makes for gorgeous
Tight
fabric on sock for socks.
That's a call out to Kate, tight knitter.
Yeah, tight
Go
knitters.
show them.
I'll show you it close up ish.
I screwed up my sock. But
So that's
Do you
the
care?
darker
No,
side, and
not
then it
even
gets
a little
lighter
bit.
as it goes down. They're pretty, hey?
I think in the long run it'll be okay.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. I'm glad
So
they're
is this
done.
the first time with her yarn?
No, I designed a shawl and made it out of that about 3 years ago.
I
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you sell it?
Buy your shawl pattern.
Can you buy that shawl pattern? No, that's a lie actually. I didn't design that one. I did a lacy back with that yarn. But I designed something from that trip. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And it's called the Salish Sea Shawl. And yes, you can. It's on Ravelry.
Okay, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
You guys are fancy.
So
We're an amazing
I went
company.
on her Etsy shop.
Like the talent.
You went
of
on
is
my Etsy shop?
overwhelming.
Totally.
Oh, okay, good.
I went on the Etsy shop. Beautiful yarn.
Yeah, right?
Beautiful yarn.
She's got really great colors.
Yeah. I did not see this colorway.
no.
Actually, I was specifically looking for this
Were
one.
you really?
Well, you know when you see it knit up, I really wanted my socks like that. I wanted socks
Maybe
like
message.
this.
The fun thing about her is that I'm pretty sure she only does one-offs. Like she'll do 3 of one colorway and then that's it. And
So
then
she
she'll keep-
doesn't keep a dye book, maybe.
I don't know if she does or not, but she just changes it up every time.
That's kind
Yeah,
of
I
cool.
love
That's
that.
very
Like,
fun.
I like when you can buy the same color because you like the same color, but I love when you can't.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's-
this is mine, it's unique, and nobody else
Yeah.
has this.
Yeah.
There's always something new and interesting to go find from her. Always. Yeah.
Gosh,
Love
I
it.
love that.
Okay, I have a sock FO. Where the heck is it?
Do you really?
We all just show one
Jody! What are you talking about? What do you mean, do I really? Do I really? I actually have. What did I do with all my junk? Here we go. Okay. I finished these bad boys.
Oh, those are
What?
Those are fun.
I know. They're pretty fabulous. So it's a mustache yarn in her Kama Sutra colorway. 20 rows. So the pattern goes from here all the way down to this turquoisey stripe. That's one pattern repeat. And these are the Smooth Operator socks by Miss Susan
Oh,
B.
okay. That's my next to try.
Okay, you got to?
Yeah.
Tell
For
us
so many reasons. So you were talking about how you modify the afterthought heel all the time, Marsha. Like you
Yeah.
sort of do it because I've done a typical afterthought and I've knit it the way they say and I find it really shallow and I don't feel like I have hard to fit feet, right?
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I will add lots of plain rows to give me more room. And then this one just sort of takes care of all of that for you. I feel like
It's an afterthought heel too.
it is an afterthought heel pattern. It's a cuff down afterthought heel pattern. And so I was super excited about it and cast on and did it. And then all of a sudden there were these variations to the pattern already that came up.
Yeah.
So she has updated the pattern and I did some of those as well on the
Let
second
me
side.
just tell you guys, very clever modifications.
Okay, now I think I have my favorite vanilla sock pattern.
Okay.
This is it for me.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is
cheer.
it. This is it.
I love that they match, by the way. Like, and the heels are different, but then the rest of the sock matches perfect.
Yeah,
That
so-
warms my heart.
Does it? Well, it's you have to try really, really hard to not make your socks match because Stacy's yarn comes
Yeah.
wound in 2 half skeins
Oh, that's
Okay.
that are
beautiful.
perfectly
Yeah,
matched.
And
So-
her yarn is so nice to knit with.
Oh, I love it.
It's so nice
They
to
make
knit with.
beautiful
So
socks.
I do have another.
I made a pair for Scylla out of her yarn.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
She did. They're lovely. They match.
Aw, that's why. I mean, I guess I could knit from the other end of the ball, so it doesn't really match. But why would you?
Right? They either need to match perfectly or be totally different, like the ones Marsha's doing now.
Yeah.
They don't match enough that they're perfect, but when they're off by one stripe, my OCD just can't handle it.
Like, is it
Ours?
must be, it's red still. but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
can
just
see
bright.
the.
Okay.
It's just super great.
We're just all freaking out that we're not actually recording.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good.
This is what you can see.
So,
Forehead.
I love
It's because it might be a little bit dark because the sun is
It's
like
right
shining right on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That would be the.
We get
shall
what you
see.
get, and you don't get upset.
We shall see.
That's right.
That sounds
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss.
Even if it's just the audio, like Marsha's video last night.
Oh, I
Everybody
hope.
else is sleeping, and all you see is just a black screen.
Okay, it would make me really happy to get more of those.
I'm
so,
that's what I was talking about.
I'm in the
creepy
room
whispering
right next to
videos.
her, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
that's so creepy. I'm like, I'm not sleeping.
oh my goodness, that gives a whole new fun twist to insomnia.
Yep.
Just start sending your friends creepy black videos with
Yeah.
whispering.
At 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
Okay, those socks are outstanding.
You like them?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like them too, you guys.
I have that yarn. I got to pull it out.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so I have a question from Grandma Nancy.
Okay.
She says that your socks always look really big, but those don't look big.
No.
Nancy, I'm so offended.
I was talking about
big
this morning.
feet.
I'm like, she doesn't look like she has.
Actually, she is
Big
surprisingly
feet.
small.
Well, you know, I guess.
So
maybe
what's
on
your
the
stitch
outside.
count?
64 on a
Okay, so
2.25 millimeter needle. Typically, that's what
That's totally
these
reasonable.
are.
So
Okay.
these look machine knit.
Yeah,
They
she's
do?
got beautiful.
Your stitches are so unbelievably even, and your gauge is so like consistent. It looks
Oh.
machine knit.
Okay,
So
thanks.
you can come on the podcast anytime.
Scylla, don't go home. Stay here and critique my knitting. And I have to say, part of this was knit in the dark in the movie theater.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's my new favorite thing to do. I don't even care about the movie.
Yeah.
I'll just go and take a sock, and then you come out and you look at your sock and go, "How did I do?"
Yeah.
And it was
I've
fine.
tried
Apparently
movie
did
theater
machine
knitting
knit
so
quality.
many times, and I
can't.
always drop
to
the
watch.
stitches at the
This
beginning
is gorgeous.
of the needle.
Yeah. That too.
And then once I
What's
did
got
that, and I was
nature
like,
on it?
I'll just keep
Shocking.
knitting. So I left those stitches totally dropped.
Oh my
After the
goodness.
movie, I grabbed a crochet hook and went, brought it back up.
Totally, it's all fixable. It's
So
all. I
funny.
don't know what is different, but now apparently I can knit in the dark. So
That's awesome.
one more thing to do.
Yeah.
That
Muscle
is
Instead of
memory.
eating the chocolate at the movie theater or the popcorn, I'll knit.
Right now, that's a talent though. Knitting in the dark. I can't even knit in low light. Give me a glass of wine, and I definitely can't knit in low light.
That is for sure.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I've got a sock.
Okay, show
Yeah.
us.
Were you going to show us something else in your
I
bag?
do have one more, but I actually feel like I'm going to rip out the toe because I don't like it, so I don't have to show
Okay,
it.
well, tell us why though. Why? Do
Yeah, because we grip out our toes together.
Okay, yeah, totally. Actually, I am pretty much
Actually,
100%.
I love performing surgery like that on something.
So this was I love this yarn so
No,
much, you guys.
what? What do you mean?
What do you
You cannot
Why would you
take
do
that out.
It's a toe.
I don't know.
It looks machine knit.
Tracy, we're judging you right now.
Yeah, totally.
You
Okay,
need
so-
to keep that
You're
toe.
over.
I have to keep it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
You
don't know
have to
why you'd
keep
rip
it.
that out.
Well, this is the Bee Splat yarn that Vivid Yarn Studio dyed up to match your bag.
Even kidding me.
So I have that yarn.
So the yarn is like,
and I have
what?
that bag.
So it's pretty.
Don't you love the yarn?
I'm
Yeah.
regretting not keeping one.
No
Yeah?
kidding.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
I think you need to.
Well, it's
She'll-
nice
she'll
to
dye
see
another
it
one.
knit up
Julia.
because I was like, what am I going to knit with this? Because it has white in it. So I was like, I can't knit socks.
Yeah,
Look
at
that's
that.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
totally I can.
Yeah.
And I chose the honeycomb and wildflowers and honeycomb pattern because it's bees, honeycomb, whatever.
Yeah,
That's what I thought in my brain.
Oh, pretty.
But I love the yarn, and then I wasn't sure about this giant blue toe.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with
I
Grandma
love
Nancy
it.
here. This looks big and weird, but it actually fits perfectly.
Oh, is that
Um,
why you're gonna rip it out because of the color?
Yeah, I felt like the
Oh,
color was
no.
too like.
Oh, I know.
No.
Okay, apparently I'm
It
not ripping
brings
out
it-
this
It
toe.
brings it together. It's
Yeah,
like
I
magic.
agree.
It's like
Because
sassy toes.
it pulls the blue out of the yarn too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Okay, it's.
Can I have the rest of that ball when you're done, and then I can knit shorties?
Yes, but I don't know that you're going to have very much left.
Why?
You should just make tiny socks. Oh, that's a lot of yarn to make tiny socks out of.
Well, I need to make one more sock still.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Or-
gonna message her.
You got to,
Yeah,
Jody. It's
I need that
stunning.
yarn.
I would love to
Do you want
do
me
a fingering
Yeah,
weight
it's
sweater out
gorgeous.
of this
I'll
color.
message
I
her.
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
so
That would be
beautiful.
beautiful.
I love the black speckles in it. Like it just when you add black, I don't know why, I just love it.
And you know, I thought it was awesome on the skein, and I thought, nah, I'm not so sure. Looking at it, it's completely me.
Yeah.
Right.
It was bang on to match the bag, and that's what I had wanted her to do. But then I see it knit up like that, I think
Oh.
that's my colors.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I would. I'm
Yes.
totally. I'm gonna. If I ever see it again, I'm buying more because I would like to do something else with it. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it does.
Yeah, her yarn is incredible.
Look at you. And
Okay,
then
so
got
there you
one
go.
right there.
What?
You're
I know, but I want to see your sock.
This is the hat I'm gonna make.
Yes,
Okay.
it is the hat you're gonna
Yeah.
make.
Oh, I would
make
make
that
that
hat.
You totally want to make this hat.
We're not showing it to you yet, but
Yes. You need a model.
This is the small size.
Okay, well, I have a tiny pinhead, so it's perfect.
Good.
I gotta finish my
That's what I was gonna say.
This is my this
is
is my
I should
afro
have
for the
brought
week.
that, and
Yeah.
we should have been wearing them. Although we would have passed out from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
really hot.
You made the same hat?
We testing it for whole heat.
Is this, right. Is this meant to be slouchy hat? This is so
It does
not,
have a bit of slouch on the top, but you can make it
this
slouchier.
is so very
You
not
should just
how
wear
I
it
wish
like that. No, seriously. You should
That
just wear it.
is
Jenny, you
fantastic.
nailed it.
That's like you nailed it. You made a picture.
That is totally nailed it. No, but you should wear it like that and then hop through the forest. You can be like,
Oh, sure.
in
Okay,
the
here we
forest.
go. Ready? Okay, continue on.
Hey, I'm just not sure what's going on there, but it does come in a larger size.
Continue on.
Okay, and I was just gonna say how much I loved that hat.
I'm not sure why it fits Jenny like that.
Oh my god. You guys are not ever allowed to go home. You're never going home. Okay, next week we're gonna be in Penticton, folks. We're old. Oh my god.
Can you see her in the background? We're not sure. If we
Not
can.
yet,
Not
but I
sure.
can't wait.
Okay, so I've got a sock. Look what I'm knitting.
That is.
Oh, Jody.
Do you guys recognize? It is the sock blank that Tracy gifted me. That Andy from Andre Sue Knits dyed, and so I just So this is the mini that Tracy dyed.
Oh, yeah.
So I started off with a cuff like that, and now I'm knitting.
Sorry. I had to.
And I'll show you when we podcast at Tracy's house a little closer.
I love it.
Yes, you can add
Thank
slouch.
you.
What? Sorry. I just feel like
It's kind of fantastic.
I think you should
Sorry.
maybe.
It's not your turn anymore.
I know. I was like, sorry. I thought maybe you couldn't get it down on your head, and I was like, why is it not fitting?
Okay, give it to me again, Jenny. You got to put this on and pull it down a little more.
Okay, well, I can't see myself, so I don't know how to.
Well, clearly
Well,
pull it down.
definitely
more.
over your
Okay,
ears.
so
would
this
be
is
good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah,
so
Okay,
much
that
better.
looks really cute
That's
now.
how I would wear it if it was my hat.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Me too.
It is
my
perfect.
Love it.
It's
Oh,
a
that
super,
is
super
so
quick knit.
beautiful.
I loved
What's
it.
the yarn?
It fits you perfect.
A Maxima by
perfect.
Manos.
Okay.
So it's a
I don't
single
even- can you make it
spun
shorter?
Yeah.
merino.
Okay.
I
probably
love
take one
it.
repeat on that.
Yeah.
I love some merino
And then you
on
could
my
just
head.
lengthen.
Me too.
Yeah. Or just decrease
I
faster.
like-
I love
Stop.
merino.
Oh,
And
yeah, you know what?
cabled
It's not.
merino
Yeah, anyway.
is like the
It's-
greatest
I
thing
like
ever
the
on
long
my
gray.
life. It's
Jeez.
magic.
Okay, now I'm never
Yeah,
going to be able
that's
to wear that hat without thinking of you prancing through
You're
the
welcome.
yard, which makes me happy.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
So I'm so excited
Okay.
because we're getting into the little bit of black flax. You can't see it, but when Tracy and I did the second half of the podcast at home, I'll show you closer. But starting to get little blips of the black. I just think this is so
I can't wait to see this
gorgeous.
Look at it sparkle in the sun. Holy
And
smokes.
it's sparkle,
Yeah.
which I love.
Beautiful.
So that's what I've been working on. I do have another. I have an FO.
What?
Yo. Does anyone have any more socks to talk about?
Got an F.
I
feel like you never
really
talked about
talked
your
about mine. I
sock.
just talked
I
about
want
the
to
toe.
hear about your sock.
Okay, so my sock, this is my third ever sock I've ever made. So I'm pretty excited. I think I have mastered the heel flap and gusset. For anyone who's never done socks before, don't be scared.
Yeah.
They are not as scary as they look. Yes, it seems like 72 stitches is a lot of stitches.
It was so amazing. I loved how the birds were going along behind. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I watched it back, there is just this ray of sunshine coming down from the sky right in the middle of us. And we even joked before we started about the clouds opening up and the angels singing and like just this massive joke. But there was like light shining from above the whole time, which I found very cool. And it just felt very natural and very relaxed, and it was a lot of fun. There's about half an hour that didn't get recorded, but it was still what we did capture was magical. So from Edmonton, we traveled down south, and Syl and I went to the Custom Woolen Mill, and it was so much fun. It was beautiful there. It was, we went on a very back roads kind of way to get there. We GPS'd it, and it would have been faster if we'd actually looked at the map. I feel like. But so we GPS'd it and we got there, and it was late afternoon by the time we got there. But it was awesome. Got some amazing yarns. I also want to say that there were some gifts given to Scylla and I, but I'm going to talk about those at the end, I think, because the grocery girls gave us a gift, and Laura from the Fawn Knits gave us a gift as well. But okay, so I'll talk about that stuff at the end. So at the Custom Woolen Mills, Scylla and I each got some things. Scylla's working on her second pair of socks. I don't know if I've mentioned that she started knitting socks, and she's totally excited about it, which is super cute. But I picked up some yarn at Custom Woolen Mills. I picked up this. It's coming up a little bluer. It's more turquoise than that. And of course red. Red and turquoise are my jam. And this wool is so soft and so sheepy, but it's not scratchy at all. I asked them where they kept their merino, and the girl who was helping me, she wasn't sure, and then she remembered they had a whole wall of it. And it's just fantastic. Actually, I have a little video from when we were there, and I'll just put it in right here. Hi, Scylla.
Hi, Marcia.
What are you doing?
Yarn shopping at Custom Woolen Mills in Alberta.
And what do you have?
I have alpaca. It's alpaca Lopi yarn. In the moss colorway and in the sienna.
And how do you feel about that?
I really like them. They're really pretty.
Okay, good.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What can I help you with?
Everything.
You're having fun looking.
We are and touching.
That's good.
We're totally touching.
That's good. The girls are having fun playing with kitties.
Yes,
perfect.
so that keeps them.
Oh, no. I taught them to grab a piece of long grass and go fishing for kitties. And, yep, the cats are going to burn off some energy. And
So are the girls.
They've been in the car for a few hours, so they're probably...
They're having fun playing with the kitties. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, I love this Sock of Many Colors kit. How cool is that?
Which one?
These
I
big
was
kits.
looking at that one. Those ones.
Like these ones are cute. Annie's knee high socks.
Yeah, I was looking at this one. Or there was another one that had more red in it. Was it this one down there? That one.
Oh, and they have spindles too. I wonder if they're for sale. Or if they're just for looks. Oh yeah, it says reference material, not for sale. So Custom Woolen Mills is in Carstairs, Alberta, and their website is customwoolenmills.com. And I don't know if you can see that. This yarn is a 2-ply, and I'm actually co-hosting with my good friend Katie from Inside Number 23. We are co-hosting a knit along, so I picked this up with that in mind because I want to do color work out of this. So I have more of this color than the red, but I'm going to do a 2-color color work. sweater, I think. So that's coming. And I picked up some sock weight sock yarn, 70% wool, 30% nylon. This is much scratchier, and it is a looser, it's a little bit of a looser ply. Sorry, I paint on my nails because I've been painting. It's a bit of a looser ply, but I'm going to try it in socks and see how it goes. The worst thing that happens is they wear out quicker and then I have to knit another pair of socks, which for me, it's not a hardship. And this wool, which I don't know, it was just in their seconds. It's kind of spun a little bit thick and thin. So I don't know if you could see that. There's a thick section there and here's a thinner section here. So it looks more like hand spun. And I don't know what I'm going to knit out of this yet. It has no plans, but I'm thinking some sort of shawl. So, and I might dye it, but it smells delicious. So we stopped by there and picked up that gorgeous yarn. Then when we were in Edmonton, Jenny invited Scylla and I to set up our tent in her backyard, which was super awesome and nice of her, and we totally took advantage of that. And we got together, met up at her place, and then we ordered some dinner and had some wine and had a really awesome knit night. It was just all of us just hanging out and just getting to know each other, and it was so awesome. Like, Jenny she's gonna be my best friend. She doesn't know it yet, but now she does. So it was so fantastic, and she's such a grounded, wonderful person. The next day she had to go to work, and Scylla and I decided to hang out in Olds, where she's from, and meet up with Laura of the Fawn Knits podcast. And Laura, it was the next day after hanging out with Jenny, so Scylla and I were a little more low-key, a little more relaxed, and which goes with Laura perfectly. She's just I feel like she's just a very gentle soul. She's very quiet and very just lovely. Like, we went out for coffee, and then we went to the park, and then we went to the library, and then we tried to take the kids to the swimming pool, but that didn't work. And then we went to the bowling alley and took the kids there. And we just had an amazing time together. From there, I realized that I was missing something very important to me, and I've been calling around ever since trying to find it. So from there we drove down to Carstairs again. There's a little town called Carstairs, and we actually set up our tent and we were getting ready to camp, and then this massive storm, we could see it coming in, and there was lightning and thunder and we kept checking the weather, and it was saying that it was still sunny, and I took the girls to go brush their teeth to get ready for bed, and then we walked back to the tent, and it was so windy, and I could see that the storm was coming, and then I checked my app again, and it said chance of thunderstorm. So Scylla and I have never packed up a tent and all that stuff so quickly in our lives. We packed it all up, got it in the back of the truck, and as we were driving out of the campsite, it started pouring, just massively pouring and storming all around us. The wind was going crazy, and we drove back to Calgary. And we found, there's this app, website, it's called Hotwire, and you don't exactly get to know what hotel you are booking because they book them at super cheap rates. And so if you travel, this is a good thing to keep in the back of your mind. Hotwire.com, and they kind of give you an overview of how many stars the hotel will be. You have some choices, and the grade of hotel that you're selecting. So you can choose 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, whatever, but they fall into a category. They don't tell you which hotel it is, but they're like, okay, it's this grade of hotel, and then they give you a list of names of what it could be. And we did that. We got we got a hotel that night, and the price could not be beat, and we ended up staying at the Sheraton. And it was, I think it was either the Sheraton or the Hilton. It was one of those, I can't remember, but maybe it was the Sheraton. I don't remember, but beautiful hotel. And it was just super clean, super nice. And the price it would have cost us for like a 2-star hotel in Olds. So it was perfect. So if you ever go traveling, I definitely recommend using hotwire.com, because I don't feel like you'd be disappointed. It's a little bit unnerving not knowing which hotel you'd be staying at, but so far it hasn't steered us wrong. So super happy with that. So in Calgary, Syl and I decided we were going to go to all of the yarn shops. So we started in the morning with, I'm just going to list the yarn stores down here, because I can't remember their names right now, but I will look it up and I'll put it down below. The first one we stopped at was this cute little yarn store right downtown. I think it was on 9th or 8th. And it was adorable. Syl bought a whole bunch of buttons there, and they had a really good selection. They had Ancient Arts yarn, and they had just some really nice yarn. We spent a while in there, and we also then we went to like Dairy Queen for lunch, because I promised the girls ice cream the day before. And then we had no idea that one of the yarn stores was a block away from where we had lunch. And then we drove all the way, like probably 15 minutes away, to another yarn store that had not had very good reviews about customer service. And I'll put that one down below here as well. We went in, it was beautiful. They had a massive selection of patterns. They had a great cross section of yarn, from inexpensive to moderately. They didn't have a whole lot of indie dyers, which it just depends what you're looking for. But it was a large space. There was lots of parking, and we had beautiful service there. So from there we went to went to meet Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast, and we went to, I can't even remember, down here. We went to this cute little yarn store. It had some it was a small yarn store. It didn't have a huge selection. It had some sale yarn, which I purchased a little bit of sale yarn. And I let the girls each pick a skein of yarn so that I could knit them a toque out of it. So, and we met Candace, and we had a great time chatting with her. And then after, there was like pay parking in the back, so there wasn't very much parking. It was kind of difficult to get into, and their signage for the parking was a little bit confusing for us because we're small town girls. So we ended up just hanging out in the back alley and catching Pokemon for about an hour. But it was so much fun because Candace she is a hoot. She is so fun. She is hilarious. We just laughed so much, and I loved her sarcasm. Like, she's just, in real life, she's just like, yeah, I enjoy her podcast, but she's definitely got a very hilarious Canadian sarcastic side, which I definitely enjoyed. So Candace, it was lovely to meet you. And then we went to, that was the yarn shop that was a block away from where we ate lunch. And then we went and met Carla of the Knit Nicks podcast. She'd invited us over to stay the night at her place, and we met previously in Sorrento, and we've been in constant contact ever since. And she is just hilarious. She is so funny, and she is just yeah, her humor is, I love it. She just cacks me up all the time. And so we went to her place, and she had a couple spare rooms. So we set up the girls, and she's just we had dinner together and so giving. She gave the girls like a ton of acrylic yarn and some scissors and whatever else. And they just had at her and just created. And I love that. My girls always are creating things. So that was just beautiful. She gave Scylla and I each a skein of yarn at her place, opal yarn, and it's just beautiful. She let us choose. She showed us her stash, which was lovely, and we just had an amazing evening. She asked, we were supposed to meet up with Joanne from Knitting Mojo, or Creative Mojo podcast, sorry, Creative Mojo podcast. And Joanne she's hilarious too. We had such an awesome night. We laughed so hard. Her husband's a musician, and the introduction to her podcast is him playing music. So Carla started playing the music on her stereo system from Joanne's podcast, and her dog started singing along, and it was so hilarious. I laughed so hard. And Joanne she was awesome to hang out with. And you know what? Like, I just feel like it doesn't matter that we are so far apart. Like just knitting just brings us all together. And you know, that is just the common ground to build from, I feel like. And it was an amazing visit. We had so much fun. And then from Carla's place, we ended up just driving straight home. So another long trip home, but we stopped at, it's called the Enchanted Forest, and it is by a town called Revelstoke. And it is, well, it's an enchanted forest. So it's got all these little creations, these of nursery rhymes, and they're these little they look like paper mache, but obviously they're like plastic. But this lady used to live there, and she was an artist, and she spent her lifetime creating these characters and this area, and now it is open for the public to go through and see all these characters, and they add more things to it. And they've built this tree house, and most of the things are very interactive, so the kids can go in and out of them. The little woman who lived in a shoe, it's a giant shoe that the kids can actually go in the door and go up the stairs and down a slide, and then there's the three little pigs. They have the house made of straw, the house made of sticks, and the house made of bricks, and the kids can go right on in. You know, it's very, very cool, and it's a lot of fun, and it's good, like, roadside stop that everyone can just go in, and parents can get their on and the kids can get their wiggles out, and they can go and touch everything and see everything, and it's a lot of fun. So that was our trip home, and it was an amazing trip. It was so lovely to meet everybody. And I would love to go across Canada and into the US to meet more people. Like, it would be awesome to go, you know, down into the States and meet, you know, Sue and Chelsea of Legacy Knits and that sort of thing. And even into Europe, like Syl and I are already talking about going to England and meeting up with podcasters there, but that's in the long future. But and we're going to be meeting up with a lot of people at Knit City, so that's super exciting. And I'll get to meet Eric from Sticks Plus Twine there, which is super awesome, and get to see the grocery girls again. And we're planning a little bit of a yarn jaunt there, but we won't be lacking in yarn exposure there because it's awesome. And yeah, so I'm gonna start getting into the knitting now. So what I'm working on, I am working on the Featherweight Cardigan. Now by Hannah Fettig, and it is being knit. I'm using my You Sew and Sew bag with the beehives on it, and then on the inside it's bees. This is one of my favorite bags. I love bees. They make me happy. And I am knitting this cardigan out of Manos del Uruguay in the Marina. It is 874 yards per skein. I have 2 skeins, and it's in the steampunk colorway. It is awesome. It is actually a featherweight. And I started it while we were away, and then I kind of just put it down and picked it up when we got home. So this is a few days of knitting in, and it is the lace weight. I didn't even think of doing it in a fingering weight. I don't know why. I just assumed that it was just for lace weight, so I would knit it in lace weight, so you can kind of see through it. This yarn is not like, it's not pooling like crazy. It looks really, really cool. I'm really happy with it. It is a single ply. So in the beginning of knitting with it, it was a little bit finicky getting started, but it's just because the start of the knit, I feel like, is a little bit finicky anyway. But it's going really quickly for lace weight. And I am knitting it on, I used the needle size that it called for the main part, so the knitting back and forth, I got gauge with that. But when I knit in the round, my gauge is a lot tighter than knitting back and forth, because my purl rows, because I knit continental, my purl rows are looser because of where I hold my yarn to continental purl. So when I'm doing just knitting, it's actually a lot tighter than my knitting and purling. So I went up half a needle size for the sleeves. And I've also read and heard that the sleeves are quite tight for some people. So I just feel like that'll give me a little bit of extra leeway. And I feel like it's just a little bit looser than the main part at the top. But I feel like it'll block out fairly evenly. It is turning out beautifully, and I totally forgot that Sue and Chelsea from the Legacy Knits podcast are doing a featherweight knit along right now, and I think Sue is talking about extending it, so because it's supposed to be over on Thursday of this week. So I think that I'm going to enter this into that if they do end up extending it, because I feel like I should be able to have it done. And I'm going to knit the sleeves longer. They are going to be longer than what the pattern is calling for, because I think it's 3/4 length, and I just want full length sleeves. So this, I feel like, is going to be a staple in my wardrobe. It looks fairly small. I'm not knitting the smallest size. I'm knitting I think it's 3 sizes up, yeah, or the second. Yeah, no, it's the 3rd size up. So it's like a medium. And I actually added length to it too. I added about 4 inches in length to it, I feel like. And when I block it, I am going to block it a little bit longer as well, because I just wanted a titch longer than what it is right now, but I feel like it'll block out really nicely. It's such a nice knit. That yarn is beautiful, and I definitely recommend, if you haven't tried the Manos del Uruguay Marina yarn, try it. It is so lovely to knit with. Yeah, I love it. I just, when I was caking it up, when I was caking it up, the first one, I actually had too much tension on it. So it did break the just once or twice on the first one, but when I did the second one, I just made sure that it was quite a bit looser and it didn't break at all while I was caking it. So that's just a little aside. Just make sure that you don't have too much tension between the two when you're caking it up. Other than that, it's been an amazing yarn to work with. So there is some new cowls coming along. An old cowl is the Canada Cowl 2016 that is still going on till the end of September, which is September 30th. Very excited about that. And we have some entries in the thread in our group, quite a few entries actually, and it's just, I love it. I love seeing everybody's entries and looking at all the different Canadian designers and dyers and just bag makers, everything. I'm enjoying it to no end. That ends on September 30th. So right before Knit City. So if you're knitting a Canadian cardigan or sweater or jumper, as they say in England, get knitting. And I am announcing a brand new cowl that is going to start on October 1st. That cowl is the autumn color cowl, and I posted on Instagram a little video, but I will post it right here to introduce this new cowl. So the hashtag is Autumn Color Cowl 16, and you can, if you're working on it with us, then just post that on all of your Instagram photos so that we can follow along with your color work journey. So how it's going to work, it's going to start October 1st and it ends December 1st. I know it's only 2 months, but works in progress are acceptable. Small color work projects are acceptable. What we would like to see is stranded color work or mosaic, or like just keeping it very open, but where it actually involves color work, not just striping. So striping or 2-color shawls or whatever, that isn't going to qualify. We want to see some color work, some patterns. It's autumn. It's our autumn knit along, so like just embracing the change in the color. If you've never done color work before, there are some fantastic patterns out there for hats, for mittens, for leg warmers even, that you can try. There's socks that you can try, and it's just, it's the gamut. Like you can just choose whatever. And if you've never tried color work, now's the time. Give it a go. Like I love color work. It becomes so just relaxing after a while, and I feel like it goes very quickly, for the fact that you want to see what the next color looks like, or how does the next row look. And so you can see my fingers going because that's me knitting. But it's going to be amazing, and so this is your opportunity, and you're welcome. You're welcome. I have some finished objects. Now, I usually have finished objects, but this is banner. It's been 3 weeks since I last podcast, and we actually have a new placement in our home. For those of you that don't know, I am a foster parent as well, and transitioning somebody into your home does take extra time and energy, and that is the reason why I haven't been so like out there. Our new placement doesn't know that I have a video podcast, and that's something that is just going to happen naturally. It's not going to be something that I just am like, hey, I'm on YouTube. But that'll be just I feel like that just needs to be an organic thing that happens. But also transitioning a youth into, or any child into your home does take extra time, and it takes extra energy, and there's getting used to each other and riding each other's bumps, and just learning to navigate with each other. It's kind of like a dance that happens, and when a child comes into care, I don't even know if you guys want to hear about this. I'm just going to say it, and if you don't want to hear about this in the future, just let me know, because I could just even cut this out. I don't know. But when they come into your home, it's usually they're not super excited about it. It isn't like, yay, I get this new family. It's usually they've been, usually, that doesn't mean necessarily this situation, but usually they've been pulled out of everything that they know. Their whole existence is turned upside down, and they are not super excited to see you normally. Like that's just how it is. And so it's navigating through those emotions, and for me, it's also letting them know, you know, I'm here if you want to talk, but don't feel like you have to talk, because I'm not going to force myself on them. And so we're just navigating right now, and it's going very well, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. I can't go into any details, but it is going well. But it has been, I don't podcast when I have the kids around. I just don't. But I do have some finished objects. Because it's been 3 weeks, I've had a lot of time to knit, and I'm super excited to show these to you. I have not blocked them, any of them. I'll block them later today, but I wanted to make sure they were dry so I could show you. And it has been 3 weeks, which I should have just blocked them anyway, but I'm sorry, they're not blocked. So I'm showing them to you with their pants down. They're not quite ready. So, oh, I had an emergency fix that I had to do on my Tucker sweater as well. I was wearing it at Carla's, and Scylla pointed out that the armpit had a hole. So I fixed the armpit, and you can't really, that's where it is, but it's not super, when I have my arm down, you can't tell, but yeah. So that's been fixed. That's just the life of a knitter. Okay, so I finished my, my Greenfield cardigan by Melissa Labar. Greenfield cardigan by Melissa Labar. And this is all my notes. And if you've seen how much I write on patterns before, you know that's just how I roll. I have writing all over the place. Okay, so I finished that. I have not found the buttons for it yet. Those are still coming. I want to make sure that I take the time to get the best buttons for it. But it is so squishy. And it only takes 3 buttons, so there's 1 buttonhole, 2 buttonholes, 3 buttonholes. It was a very simple knit, very quick. It doesn't have full length sleeves. They're 3/4 length. And I just decided that I would do a pattern with 3/4 length and that I would keep it true. It is knit back and forth, so there's no purling. So it gives it that it's very, very squishy, very intuitive, And it has a little bit of a lace detail down here that I really love. It's a little leaf. And that's it's only on each side. So it's just that little bit of detail at the very end where you're just knitting back and forth. And then it just gives it that little bit of interest in the last little bit. And I do believe it's top down. And I knit it with Knit Pick City Tweed DK in the snowshoe colorway. This yarn was on sale at one point and it was super inexpensive. I think this whole cardigan cost me like probably $21 to make, which is unheard of in knit garments. Super squishy. It's going to be definitely one of my fall pieces that I grab as like a layering piece, a jacket, you know, throw a cowl on over top, and it's just going to be lovely. The other thing that I have finished, I've got a big slew of everything. I knit the super bulky grandpa sweater, and it is by Joji Locatelli. This is my first Joji that I knit, and it still needs to be blocked. It's super bulky. This knit took me 3 days of knitting. I started it before we left and knit on it all day, and I had most of it done. Knit one sleeve another day and the third sleeve the final day, and that was it. It was super, super quick to knit. I knit it out of Drops Eskimo, and it says excellent for felting, and it's 100% wool, and it's a single ply, but it is super bulky. The one thing I would do is, if I were to knit this again, is I would get an even bulkier yarn. I would definitely get an even bulkier yarn. One of my friends, Glenda from the Wet Coast Wools podcast, mentioned to me that sometimes Joji's patterns can fit small, and that I should check my gauge, and my gauge was definitely off. It was definitely off. But when I cast it on, I decided that I would do a larger size. So that was my saving grace, is that I did a larger size. And even if it didn't fit, I have somebody who's a smaller size than me in my family that I could gift it to. So I'll just show you this one. It also has pockets in the pattern, but I didn't do pockets. They're not, on my cardigans, they're not a big deal to me. And I might add pockets later. I don't know, but it does definitely needs to be blocked for sure. And this red is just stunning. I have another red cardigan that I'm knitting right now, and it is all cables. It's the blueberry cardigan, I think. But I really wanted a red cardigan quickly, so this fit the bill. So if you would like to knit a sweater or cardigan and you'd like to get it off the needles quickly, this will definitely do that for you. It was 3 days, and it wasn't even all knitting all the time. This one also takes 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3. But I haven't found the buttons yet because I want larger buttons. So it has this beautiful like garter ridge edging. The edging here is garter ridge as well, and then it's the stockinette stitch and garter on the edge. It's very comfortable. I feel like it's going to block out bigger, which is good because this is actually fairly tight fitting. So even layering it over what I have it layered over, it feels a little bit tight, not uncomfortably so, and it needs to be blocked because there's some things like that sticking out. Not uncomfortably so. It's very comfortable yarn. It's very squishy. It is a little bit itchy on my neck, I'm feeling right now, but I love it, and I feel like it'll block out really nicely. So that is my second finished object. So 2 cardigans for finished objects. And now I have, so these you will have seen in the previous video with the Grocery Girls and Jenny. And I finished these while I was in Edmonton. I was working on them when we went out for dinner, and then I put the heels in before we met for recording. And so these were finished then. They are Felici. They are Knit Picks Felici. Let's get everything together, Marcia. Okay, they are knit in Knit Picks Felici in the Countess colorway. And they turned out very nicely. I haven't blocked them yet, so that's going, everything's getting their bath later today. And they are almost exact, almost. They look fairly close when you, yeah. I did an afterthought heel. So I did an afterthought heel, and that turned out really nicely. So super happy with that. There's no holes or anything. Turned out really well, and I can't wait to get wearing those. And I also knit while I was away. I cast these on right before the night before we recorded with the grocery girls, and these are knit in opal yarn, and I finished them when we were at Carla's house, so they only took a couple days to get off the needles, and they are awesome. I did a short row heel for these ones, and I did it with German short rows, so I really enjoy a good German short row heel. I kind of use my own German short row heel pattern. It's some of the technique is taken from the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I do it with short rows, in German short rows instead of what she calls for in the pattern, a duplicate stitch, I think it is. But it's not like, I haven't seen the doing it that way from anybody else, so it just kind of is an amalgamation. So those turned out really well. These are both knit on 2mm needles, and I think that's a 0 in American sizing. That's my go-to needle for socks, and I only have one pair. It's a High Sharps 2.0mm needles. It's the only one that I have for knitting 2 at a time, and that's how I knit my socks. I enjoy 2 at a time. It makes sense to me. I don't feel like it's finicky. I don't lose needles that way, and I really enjoy it. And I really love how there's everybody, all the podcasters that I've been watching, all the podcasts that I've been watching have been talking about their preference, and I love that it's just an open dialogue, that everybody says what they prefer and why they prefer it, and it's awesome. I really love that. So that is it for my finished objects. Now I'm going to go into, there has been some stash enhancements. I ordered a sock blank from Andre Sue Knits, and before I show you which one, she sent this as well. They're little sticky memo pads. They're so cute. And this, I haven't even opened it yet. I'm so excited about this. I love bees, as you know. We keep them usually. And this, haven't even opened it. Her update went super quick though. Andre Sue Knits, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards and 100 grams. And this is it. I've never had a sock blank before, and it is so cute. So cute. So I'm very excited about this. Yeah, I've never seen one before, so this is my first time. And it's very pretty. Like, it's super pretty. And one thing before I even opened this is I was wondering about saturation and how saturated it is. So I'm going to show you the back side, and it goes through in some areas, but not in all. And I would assume that that just adds like a more of a textured look to it. So it is very, very pretty. I could even wear it as a scarf right now with my bees. Very pretty. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to give it a go and let you know what I think of it when I'm knitting it up, and it feels super cool. But I have no idea how to, yeah, I've never done this before, so that'll be exciting. So around Canada Day, we were in New Denver, and there is a yarn/sewing store there, and it is called So Much More. And when I was there, I walked by and they were already closed for the night, and then Canada Day we ended up leaving. So I didn't actually get to stop in the store. The lovely owner, Kathy, sent me some beautiful things, and that encompass both parts of her store. She sent me these two gorgeous fabrics. One is hearts with knitting needles, and it looks like it's out of yarn. So pretty. And the other one is this camper fabric, which I super love because it reminds me of my glamper, and I'm going to make up a new project bag out of that. And she also sent some yarn, and I'm going to use some of this as a giveaway. It's Koigu, and there's 4 different skeins here, and it's the KPPM Koigu, and I really enjoy knitting with Koigu, so I'm going to give away a couple of these skeins as a giveaway prize. But they are beautiful, and I smell them, of course. And so thank you so much, Kathy, and if you are ever in the New Denver area, give her store a peek. It looked really cute from the outside. I didn't see the inside, but it definitely, would they have been open? I would have been in there. I was also sent this lovely package from Carolyn, who is the host of Two Knit and Crochet podcast, and she sent me some lovely things. It's all noisy here. She sent me this little scrap yarn, and it is heirloom, made in Italy, 75% wool, 25% nylon, for my scrappy sock blanket, so that's definitely going in there. And she also sent me some Misty Alpaca yarn, Misty Alpaca, and also some Debbie Bliss Rialto luxury sock. Now she's giving away a giveaway for one of our knit-alongs, and I'm not quite sure if this is the yarn for it or if we're still doing where you contact her about the yarn. So I'm going to contact her and just figure that out. But they're both beautiful. They're stunning, and the Misty Alpaca is so soft. She sent me also some Australian Daintree tea, which I'm really excited about trying. I've never heard of it before, so that's pretty exciting. And she also sent this project bag. Isn't it beautiful? Now this project bag, she also has an Etsy shop. It's Two Knit and Crochet, and I just want to take a minute and show you this bag because it is a whole new level of awesome. So this bag has a closure like this. So this goes around the closure, and I just undid it, so I'm not going to redo it back up because I want to show you the inside. And there's 2 handles, and it's super fantastic fabric. Then you open it up. It's got a big pocket in the middle, and it has a pocket, a large pocket that you can zip shut. And then it has 2 smaller pockets on the other side. Ooh. I'm going to flip it inside out to show you. And this cool inside fabric. So it's got 2 pockets on the inside, one here, and it has a little pocket here, which would be perfect for a pen or a pencil for keeping notes on your project, like I do all the time, and a little key fob on the inside too to hang on to whatever you need to hang on to. And it has her name right there on the inside, and it's super well made. Like these seams are, they're double stitched, so that is just beautiful quality. It's so pretty, and I love this bag so much. Thank you so much, Carolyn. This is just stunning, beautiful, amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. and it was wrapped in this ribbon, which is super pretty. When I was with Carla, she gave Scylla and I each some opal yarn, and she let us choose which skeins we wanted, and I chose this one. So pretty. And then we went out to another yarn store, and she actually got Scylla and I each some Prairie Dye Studio yarn. It's just so amazing. It's gorgeous, and I've been oogling her stuff on Etsy for a while, and so I'm super excited. Yeah, it's got the shop right on the back there. www.etsy.com. And her stitch markers are my favorite. They're drop ones. I've shown them to you before, but they are definitely my favorite type of stitch markers ever. So much. Thank you, Carla. That's just wonderful. Here, let me show you. Let me show you. Look at that. Those colors. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla. I really appreciate it. This yarn I got at the first stop we made, and it's Sweet Georgia. And this is, it's in the Tough Love Sock base, and it's called At the Ballet. So it's like pink and white and creamy colors. This one I picked up on the way out of town, and this one I got in Calgary in Riverstone Yarns, and her yarn is absolutely one of my favorite. This is the MCN base, and this is her, and so she's at www.riverstoneyarns.com, and it's the Red Giant colorway, and it's just got speckles and red and yellow, and it's just so squishy and stunning. I'm actually designing a pattern with her yarn right now, and I'm using it with a backdrop of Madeline Tosh MCN, and it's softer than the Madeline Tosh. It is exquisite yarn. Like when you compare them directly to each other, it's just amazing. This yarn I got at River City Yarns when we were hanging out with the Grocery Girls and Jenny, and it is an MCN, and it is Adam and Eve. And it is just all of the colors. Tracy said that I think she's knit a pair of socks out of this yarn, but it looked a little bit different because each of them looks a little bit different, but it's just, there's so much color in there. Like, it's just so beautiful. I'm so excited to knit up on this. You might notice that I'm really enjoying MCNs right now. So that's merino cashmere nylon, if you don't know. This I purchased at Custom Woolen Mills, and it's 100% wool, and it is Do-Si-Do Lopi Monster Mash, and it is big and squishy and lovely, and I'm actually designing a cowl right now, and once I have it all designed up, I'm doing my first knit of it. This will be my second knit of it, so just to see how it looks. I'm super excited about that. I got when I was with Candace at Pin Feathers and Pearls, and this was on sale as well, and it is Ella Ray Lace Merino, and it was on super duper sale, like 75% off or something ridiculous. So I got these 3 colors, and I don't know what they're going to become yet, but they might be destined to be something together. And this one I got with Candace. This is the yarn that the girls picked out for toques. So it's a self-striping DK weight called Nicole Trend. When we were with Laura of the Fawn Knits, Scylla and I each were blessed with a gift. It's called Jackalope in the Moonrise Kingdom is what it's called. The Fawn Knits, and this is beautiful yarn and so many colors in it. It's so pretty, and she has an Etsy shop as well, and she sells bags and yarn, and she also has the Fawn Knits podcast, and she is so lovely. So lovely. So thank you very much, Laura. There's one other thing that was given to Scylla and I. Dinner, Tracy and Jody gave Scylla and Jenny and I each a little package. And it came with this little tag that says love from the grocery girls, Jody and Tracy. And inside this cute little package are these beautiful little scissors from clemscottdesigns.com. And they're so fun. They're so cute. And they are the perfect size for knitting projects. So I really enjoy having pairs of needles with each of my project bags. So this is going to be perfect for that. And I love this little fancy flower. That makes me so happy. So your fingers can fit in them, they're comfortable, and I am definitely looking forward to using them. They're such fun colors. And also received these mini triangle, half-inch triangle mother of pearl buttons, which are super pretty. And I think that I might actually put these on my yellow cardigan that I knit. I just have to compare them to the actual fabric, but they might go on to that project because it needs buttons. So I have 3 cardigans that need buttons right now, which I don't know if that counts as an FO or not, because I might leave some buttons off of them because I don't really need buttons on this one. But yeah, I think these look really pretty on there. I just have to hold it up to the yellow. You know how it goes. So those are the amazing things that joined me on my journey through Alberta. And some of them were waiting for me when I arrived home. And yeah, so just come into my life over the last 3 weeks. So that's super exciting. I just wanted a public service announcement. We have some prizes that are still unclaimed from last week's episode from the patrons. So if you are a patron of the podcast and you haven't watched the last episode, maybe give it a go, because I gave away 3 skeins of yarn to patrons in the last episode. As well, if you're feeling like you'd like to become a patron, but you can't afford to give a certain level or whatever, even $1 a month is helpful. It's just the fact that you are willing to support me in any way, I'm just completely grateful for, and I just want to say thank you so much. And to all of the patrons who have been supporting, thank you so much. I really, really am appreciating it. Now, on the last episode, I mentioned that we were close to 2,500 subscribers and that I would do a giveaway once we reached 2,500 subscribers. We are now over 2,600 subscribers, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has joined us and everybody who has subscribed so far. It's thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't even express my gratitude. When I was meeting with all of these other podcasters across Alberta, I was just kind of in awe of them, but also I forgot that I podcast too. Like, it was so funny because I congratulated Laura on her like reaching a goal or of subscribers, and she's like, but what about you? And I was like, oh yeah, I podcast too. I forgot about that. So I want to thank you everybody, because I just come on here to share, and I don't really see myself in like the numbers we've reached are just beyond anything I could imagine. So I really appreciate it. And having said that, I mentioned that I would be giving away some yarn and a project bag. I have not sewn up the project bag yet. That is definitely going to be on my to-do right away list. I have some project bags that have already been made, but I want to do something special with a special yarn to match is what I'm thinking. But I'm going to draw the prize winner today. And what I'm thinking is, once I draw the prize winner's name, I'm going to go onto their, if they have Instagram, onto their Instagram, and if they have on their Ravelry profile, go in there, take a look, and find out what colors they like. Now, the prompt for the 2,500 subscriber giveaway was what makes you smile in the morning, and there's a hashtag, so there's additional entries for those people who use the hashtag in the Instagram feed as well. But so what I noticed is it's not necessarily a tangible thing that people are thankful for. It's a moment of quiet and calm in the morning. It's that first sip of coffee and the moment. It's the seeing their kids' faces first thing in the morning, that waking them up and seeing the sleepy stretch and the smiling faces, or the cuddling, or the pet that's just like so excited to just sit in your lap and be with you, or, you know, meowing or barking at you for breakfast. You know, those things that that money can't buy is what I noticed. It's not, people weren't thankful. Oh, I'm thankful I have this massive house. None of that came, like, none of the answers were like that. It was all the things that we're grateful for that money can't buy. And I just love that just the attitude of gratitude for the things that are just the moments. And it was beautiful reading through everybody's what makes them smile in the morning, because that is what life is about, is those moments that become memories. And so it was beautiful to read through all of those things. So without further ado, I'm going to draw for the winner. So I did a random generator, and the winner is number 105, who is Midnight Yarn. She wrote about when she wakes up in the morning and her dog snuggled in and she realizes it's Saturday. So perfect. So congratulations, and I'll get a hold of you and get your, if you could get a hold of me, actually, get a hold of me with your address, and I will make you up a bag and get you some yarn, and I'll take a picture of it, and so everybody else can see what it is that you've won, and I will send that off to you as soon as I can. So congratulations. I'm super excited. I love it when I draw prize winners. That's why I have so many things to draw prizes for. So, yes, I do have the Continue Double Dip thread, and I will be drawing winners for that sometime in September. I feel like every 3 months is kind of what I've been aiming for, and I draw from everybody each time. The last time I did a draw for the Double Dip Knit Along, I drew quite a few names, and quite a few of those people never contacted me. So I'm going to continue drawing from the entire thread, and if your name is drawn and you don't contact me, then your prize will be entered into the next draw, because I'll just continue drawing until I'm contacted. I also have a friend who has opened an Etsy shop. She has had her grand opening already. Her name is Monique, and she is also known as Dutch Girl on Ravelry. She has a new Etsy shop where she sells bags, and they're beautiful, and I have one that's on its way to me right now, and I'm super excited to see it. Her Etsy shop is called Frog Peak Creations, and she has been so nice to give us a 10% discount, and the discount code is Twitch, all capitals, 16, and it gives you 10% off in her shop. Lovely, lovely lady. Met her in Sorrento, and she is from the Revelstoke area. And yeah, so I'm super excited for her. Congratulations, Monique, on opening your shop, and I hope it goes well. And just go and take a peek at her shop. She's got some fantastic fabrics to choose from, and she's got some different styles to choose from as well. So I hope you enjoy that, and thank you again, Monique. Yeah, so that is it. It is a rather lengthy episode this time, so I hope you enjoyed it. There was a lot to get through, I know, and and school starting next week, so that's super exciting for me, and I can get back into my routine and get some sewing done on a regular basis and get my life back in order for school. And I hope you are having a fantastic summer. I hope you're ready for autumn. Pick your colors for the knit along for the color work cal that's starting October 1st. And you could even start it early if you don't think you'll have it done in the 2 months, if you're doing a big cardigan or sweater or something in color work and it's, you know, it just, maybe you wouldn't be able to get it done in that much time. Just take a look at all the patterns. There's so many lovely patterns out there. Katie and I have been talking about this knit along for months. So I'm super excited. I hope you're super excited, and I will see you next time. So until next time, have a great day.